I was born about, you know, if you walked it, it would probably be about 15 seconds from that pub. And that was a pub that my dad used to drink in, and my mum has sung in that pub, has sung that song in that pub. And I knew that from the very beginning that Edna was going to mime the lip sync to it. So I always had, you know, the idea of my mum singing was there from the very beginning. I wanted to use my mum, but you know, that didn't that didn't happen. Nothing against her, nothing personal against Edna. But I wanted to. I had an instinct to use her, and I was talked out of it. And I kind of, if there's any one thing I regret, I regret being sort of talked out of it. But you know, now it's there, and it is what it is. It seemed. It's all very personal. I mean, all the locations, it was a dream for a location manager, because I went to all the locations, and many of them I'd been to, you know, obviously before, and so then I just had a location manager, and I took them around all the different locations and said, get me permission to shoot here, get me, you know, a great deal of the work was sort of already done by the time she came on board. But it never felt, the fact that it was so personal, and the fact that you say, you know, is it exposing, but the fact that it was emotionally exposing and very personal was incredibly freeing. There is sort of something to be said for sort of kind of in a creatively sort of taking all your clothes off and standing there and saying, here I am, you know, warts and all. It was a great experience, and not just because I was surrounded by some wonderful people, and I, you know, I got, hey, look at me, I got the toy set, you know, I was playing with the big train set kind of thing. I mean, not just because of that. It emotionally, it was just such a very, very freeing experience. And I think I would like to think that my openness and my honesty contaminated the people that I was working with, who were there, the crew, the actors. Well, the role of Janet was played by my sister, Maureen, who's better known as Layla Morse, better known as Mo Harris on the EastEnders. So that's extraordinary, isn't it? You know, you talk about, at the beginning you were saying, you know, walking down the street and not being recognised, and I mean, she can't go anywhere. She's more, you should be talking to her, she's more famous than I am. I mean, when people talk about that, working on that film and that experience, I think that's probably got a lot to do with it. It was just so raw and honest, and there was no bullshit. I think that's probably what they're responding to.